Ahoy, my friends, Ryder here. Long time no see, it's been a little while. I honestly have been super stoked into Final Fantasy 16, along with being at the tail end of this remastery project on these 5 novels that I've been working on. I am about 40 pages away from finishing, so super excited about that. And just been feeling like really busy and really excited for FF16. I'm really enjoying the game so far. But yeah, so in the past I have had some requests for a team build video, and with the recent release of Addison, who I now have at level 140, I thought that since, in my opinion, she's one of the best rainbow units in the game, I honestly think that you could build her in almost any element and she will be a good support. I've decided that today I'm going to be doing kind of like a team building guide. And so I'm just going to be going through how I make teams, how I go about it at the beginning, how I choose them, going into VCs, etc., Espers, Resonance, and then at the end of this video we're going to be going into Arena and testing it out. It will be probably a little bit longer of a video than usual, just because normally all of this stuff I'm not putting into a video, but I have had enough requests in the time that I've been making War of the Visions videos to do one of these that I decided it sounded pretty fun, so I'm psyched to be coming back and making a video for you guys. So the first thing I'm going to do when I make a team is I go in here and I go into template, and as you guys can see, I've already made a bunch of teams. So like you can basically stop on any of these and you're going to find completely different teams fully built for different things that are going on. Dark Evasion, 220 cost, different, like as you guys can see, you've all seen showcase videos with these teams, etc., etc. So as you guys can see, I love building teams, and it's my absolute favorite thing to do in the game. I love making weird things work, finding meta teams, etc. You name it. We have all kinds of stuff right here. This is like a earth trick team. Here we have a katana team. Here's a water trick team, an ice trick team. Yeah, all kinds of fun stuff. 4 different earth teams. And yeah, so as you guys can see here, I'm really only missing like 70s and 80s, but then I still have the 90s completely filled out. So I have about 80 full teams built. So I'm just going to go in here to my next open slot. Here I have a night team actually. And I think I'm just going to go to party 74 right here. So to start this off, I'm just going to slot in Addison. That's the first thing I normally do. I'm just going to leave her equipment open for right now. And based on a request from a good friend of mine, Mr. Heybro, he wanted to see if Addison can make Thancred good again. So let's see if we are up to the challenge. So here we have 2 pieces of this puzzle, and if you guys are interested in seeing another version of this team building guide, but more of like a rainbow version where I don't pair like one element, I'm more than happy to do that. Just let me know in the comments below. So here we have our 2 pieces right here. Now obviously there's different ways in which we can go with this, right? I do have the Dark Bahamut card, so I would say slotting in a dark character is an option. In my opinion, Sephiroth is really the ideal choice here, but it's more likely that it's going to be a light character that brings this to shine. So with Thancred, we have a kind of like, I wouldn't even call him a bruiser. He's like a tank bruiser. I would say that his weakness is his speed and his DPS. He has very bad DPS. No resistance pierces, barely any defense piercing. Even with the cards, it's going to be hard to get damage out of him. When I look at Addison Rae, I see a very, very strong support with very high damage potential because she's strike and magic, and a lot of the characters in the game are weaker to that at the moment. So we have our DPS taken care of, we have our tank taken care of, except he doesn't have hate, right? So that's a tricky thing. So now we need something here for the third. So my first thought is Sylvie, right? I think that Thancred classifies as a red mage. Let's check. No, he does not. I think he's going to be a knight class then. So let's see here if he's knight class. Where is a knight card? Right here. Okay, so yeah, Thancred is going to be knight. This card is actually knight and red mage. So that's pretty interesting. Might be fun to use that. There's this one as well. So if we were going to run this team, then Sylvie would have to be not fully on, she wouldn't be able to be on white mage subjob, because I would want, you almost rarely do I want a team with just one DPS, because if that DPS goes down, it's instantly over. It's kind of like the same as getting stopped or berserked or disabled or something like that. So I do want some type of follow-up. Now, another good choice might be Ruin Sterne, or Winged Sterne right here. He does pair, he is knight, so I can pair him with Thancred like that, which is interesting. Another possibility would be Sephiroth right here, but I don't think that Sephiroth is really going to match as well. Plus, it's going to be harder to stack the single target resistance and AoE resistance unless we were to put the Dark Bahamut card on Thancred and then put the Anima card on Sephiroth. So that's actually not a bad idea. Sephiroth is relatively tanky. He can take some damage, and Addison could give him courage as well. So actually, I think that this team could work. So I think we're going to go with this for right now. Now, what we want is to have Addison close to Sephiroth, right? I'm guessing at the end of this formation, Addison's going to be the fastest, followed by Sephiroth, followed by Thancred. So she is going to move first, which means that I can put Sephiroth in the middle formation right here. I'm just guessing, but we'll see how this goes. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slot their equipment, right? So for Thancred, this dude has real shit DPS. I'm talking probably the worst of the worst. He can only equip one freaking weapon, at least with the limited additional abilities on it. He does get some slash attack resist piercing on it. Alright, so let's slot that. And then I'll go over to Sephiroth. I have a bunch of choices for him. Masamune plus 5 critical, Masamune plus 5 assault. So I'll go for the Masamune plus 5 assault. And then for Addison here, I'm just going to put on Kefka's gloves. I'm sure there might be a better choice, but I've been enjoying these gloves on her for now. Alright, now going into their secondary items. What do we want to do? So we have 2 main DPS damage dealers and 1 support and 1 tanky character. So from what I'm seeing right here, it looks like Sephiroth and Addison are going to be carrying Thancred, but I'm going to try and make it so that Thancred actually does some decent damage. So let's see here. He can't equip any heavy armor, which is unfortunate. He can equip the Moogle Cloak, however, which might be better served for Sephiroth. He's already going to be quite tanky. This has missile resistance up, max HP up. That could be an interesting choice for him. But, ooh, I forgot how slow he is as well. So this might be a good choice also. I'm going to go for the Genji Glove on him right here. And then for Sephiroth, let's see here. Thancred has no guaranteed hits and no accuracy. So we're not going to be going for evasion teams. For Sephiroth right here, I think I will go for the Moogle Cloak plus 5. For Addison, what do I want to use? So we have different choices here. That's kind of the benefit of, you know, getting a lot of plus 5 equipment. I don't want her to be overly fast. It might be a good thing, but I also want her to be tanky enough to not die super quick. So, let me look at her phone. Magic attack up, area attack resistance up, dark attack resistance up, JP up 50%. It's okay. Let's go for Platinum Robe plus 6. Okay, and then going for their TMRs, I am for sure going to slot Thancred with the bells. We're going to put the Rat's Eye Patch on Sephiroth. And for Addison here, I think I'm going to use Helena's TMR. It has high agility, it has a good barrier on it. And sometimes I don't necessarily want her to use her protect spell at the beginning, so this can give her another barrier instead of that, and this barrier will actually be for physical and magic as opposed to just physical. Alright, so here we have slotted their equipment, and it is a, you know, kind of trial and error thing when you're building these teams. When I take a team to you guys to showcase them, I have already spent sometimes anywhere from, you know, sometimes I like flash the build and I build it in one go. That's rare. But sometimes it's taken me up to 4 hours to get builds tweaked to the point where I'm ready to share them with you guys. So it really can take, you know, a long time. But I'm just going to do my best here. So for Thancred right here, I'm going to look at his resonance on his espers and see what we got. Of course, I have the Golden Ahriman because he's a very tanky character. But I kind of want to run him Dark Bahamut. So let's see if I put Dark Bahamut on him. I know he doesn't have the resonance yet, but we'll see how it goes. As for Sephiroth, he doesn't even have Dark Bahamut resonance on. So actually, maybe I'll put Dark Bahamut on Sephiroth. We'll go with Odin on Thancred. And then we will go with, let's see here, Bahamut on Addison. Alright, so as you guys can see here, the last thing that I have to look at is the VCs. The very first thing that I'm going to do with Thancred that I know I'm going to be using is going to be the Dark Bahamut card, for sure. Alright, that takes care of the AoE resistance for the entire party. The next thing I'm going to do is take care of the single target resistance for the entire party by putting Anima on Sephiroth and by putting Bahamut on Addison in her first slot. Alright, so these are going to be my main choices right off the bat. Now, the sub choices, I would say, are often a little trickier. So, for example here, for speed, we do have the 8% up on Bahamut from Addison, which is half what you can normally get from a different card, but I'm not going to sacrifice the single target resistance for a higher speed right now. So what I want to do is put in a speed card that's going to affect everyone in the sub slot, right? So, but now as we can see here, I have 2 light characters and 1 dark character, which means the dark character is carrying the heavy weight because they are by themselves. They don't have as much to rely on. I mean, he does get the Dark Bahamut card, which is a boon, but sometimes it can be hard for that to be enough. So on Thancred here, I'm going to go down and we are going to use the Scion of House Beowulf, right? Now that's an option. I could also use the Helena card on Addison, but we're going to wait to see what we want to do, right? So on Sephiroth now, the secondary card that I'm going to use is going, you know, you could use this, but the agility wouldn't stack. Also, it doesn't really pair with anyone else. So let's see here what we got. Okay, none of these are going to match with anybody. I really like this quality of life, the limited party ability that it shows you who can use it. Super, 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 super helpful with these job VCs. Alright, so here's one. I'm not going to go with that. Alright, so who are we on right now? Sephiroth? I'm just going to go down to Omega. I think Omega is almost always the best thing for him. Like, it's going to give him slash attack 18, max HP up 11, magic attack resist 10, agility 4%, light attack resist up 5, and max HP up 8%. So Sephiroth is going to be pretty solid. Now, going into Addison, she has different choices here. This card actually pairs with both Sephiroth and Addison. It gives accuracy, acquired AP up 32%, slash attack resistance, magic up 15% for her, so that's not bad. This is her card. It is pretty good, but it's really only going to, let's see, magic attack resistance at 12, magic 20%, reaction block rate. So it will affect Thancred in a little bit, but it's really mostly for her. It's going to give her this 4 range move right here, which does XL damage, which could be the right choice, but we'll just have to see what other choices we have here. So let's go down. That's not going to work for anybody. Okay, so I'm just going to peruse down that would work for both of them, but I don't think that's quite the build we are going for. I don't think I'm going to use the Rob Horn card. Clairvoyant Astrologer would work for Thancred and Sephiroth. Interesting. So I think the only other option here is to put the Helena VC Addison in the sub slot, and then put the Thancred card, which is right here, on Thancred in the main slot. Or I mean in the sub slot for him, which would be pretty good for him, and I think that would actually give him more of a chance. So actually, let's go down here. And we're just going to see if this works. I'm going to switch that card in. We're going to go into Thancred, and we're going to go down here. It's going to give max HP to the party, and it's going to give him a bunch of extra HP. Alright, so at this point, we have ourselves the makings of a team, right? Let's go in and check the stats. So Thancred, almost 11k HP, 1400 attack, 109 agility, so not bad. He's definitely quick. 37 defense, 26 spirit. Let's look at his weaknesses here. Very low resistance to magic. He's got 20% slash resist, 12 pierce, 42 strike, 35 missile, and 2% to magic. His elemental resistances are okay with a 10% to dark, so not bad at all. Magic teams are going to be a little bit tough for him. I do have him on Dragoon. It looks like Camouflage as the sub-passive, which is, I'm okay with that. Let's go down to Mage's Protection, raises Spirit and Magic Attack Resistance. That's already a weakness for him, so I think that's probably going to be what we keep. I don't think I'm going to use that one. Dragoon Lore, we're not going to use that one. Nebula, we're not going to use that one. Alright, so that basically takes it out of the marks. Next thing we're going to look at is the sub-jobs. For Gunbreaker, we have Heart of Stone, Aurora, and, Thancred was the very first 100 cross unit in the game. So look at these buffs. Raises target's defense for 3 turns, Regan. So, we got some stuff to work with here. So I think I'm going to pass on Gunbreaker. I'm going to also pass on Red Mage. As you can see, I've had Thancred since the very beginning of the game. All these abilities are level 1. I've never used him on Red Mage, so I am going to stick him on Dragoon. Next thing I'm going to do is make sure the right abilities are turned on and the wrong abilities are turned off. So these abilities are off. Dragon's Roar, Dragon's Standard, I'm also going to turn that off. Horizontal Jump is going to be on, regular jump is going to be on, and Dragon's King, which gives Protect, critical hit rate. Okay, so this is a new addition that I haven't used since Thancred has been out, so I'm just going to turn that on for duel. We are going to be using Dragon's Kin. That is a decent buff for him for sure with the Protect. Going down to the Revitalize, I just want to make sure that it is on. It is crucial that he gets that off. And then last but not least, I'm going to go into his main job here. And I'm just going to go down and make sure that everything is on that I want on, right? So I'm going to turn off No Mercy. It's already off. I don't want that. I only want him doing his Dragoon buff and Revitalize. That's all I want him to do. And 109 agility, that's actually not bad at all. Okay, so now going into Sephiroth, he is sitting at 10.5k, so right around Thancred. 82 agility. That is absolutely terrible. 1637 attack. He's got 21 defense, 6 spirit, and I'm going to explain to you why his agility is so bad in a second. Resistance is looking very good, so it's because he has no resonance on Dark Bahamut. So I'm going to go over to the far plane really quick. Let's see right here, and we're going to go into the key quests. I have 30 resonance keys, so I'm just going to grab 10 of those. Boom. We're going to go into it right here. I do have something set up. Rezo. Okay, so these are the characters that I wanted to build stuff on. I always start filling this in slowly. As you can see, Sephiroth is already here. And these are all characters that I want to have resonance on their espers. So I'm just going to skip this 10 times. And we are going to get off the ground right here. It's also going to give us some affinity between Sephiroth and Addison, which is going to be helpful for sure. Sephiroth is going to have no affinity with Thancred, unfortunately, but it is what it is. We are going to have to make our way the best that we can. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my formation. Right, I'm going to go over to template. We're going to relook at Sephiroth. Now he's at 99 agility, almost 12k HP, 1750 attack, and his resistances are looking the same. All in all, pretty good. Okay, so now going into Sephiroth, let's see here. Sephiroth, I am imagining that I want him to get off Veil of Woe no matter what. I mean, when he's in a full dark team, he can kind of get by without it. I really do like Scintilla as a counter, but I do believe it is kind of a luxury buff. Sometimes you need to get off other things. So I'm going to turn off Masamune and Waiting, so we're going to go down to that. Veil of Woe is on, everything else is going to be on. Pugilist is the sub-job that I like for him the most, and I'm pretty sure I have everything else the way that I want it. So Iron Body Stance is off. Momentum is going to be turned on. So this way he can use Veil of Woe and Momentum right away. So he's going to have lower agility, but we can compensate that by putting him on Lone Hero, which is going to give him more movement, higher agility, and a little less attack, which I think is going to be okay for me because he's going to have the support of Addison off the bat. So he's going to have that courage and that heal, so a little bit lower attack I think is not going to be a big problem. So that is Sephiroth. Last but not least, here we have Addison right here. She's going to be at 10.5 HP, 116 agility, like I called it. She's the fastest one. 430 dexterity, about 360 luck. She's got 1780 magic, 22 defense, 17 spirit. Going into her back end resistances, 37 slash, 25 missile, 40 magic. Not bad at all. And we got a -3 to pierce and a -10 to strike. So strike is going to be tough for us. But overall, we'll have to see how it goes. And let's just look at the TMRs. This is normally the last thing I do. So we have HP and agility. That's what I like to see. Going into Sephiroth, we have HP and accuracy. Normally, I wouldn't run him HP and accuracy, but this TMR I use for Guild Wars, and I always have accuracy on it. But actually, I think that I might be able to switch it over finally. Let's see. Here we have agility and max HP. I am okay with that. All right, and let's go to Sephiroth. I'm down to put the agility stones on the momentum TMR right here. On one condition, and that condition being that he does not become faster than Addison. So, let's see here. What do we have? What do we have? Okay, so I'm going to steal from Yuffie right here. This is Yuffie's TMR. I'm not currently using it. Alright, so where is it? Right here. Okay, and he should be roughly like 114 agility or 115 agility. So let's pray that he's still under Addison. 112. Okay, so not quite as much as I thought, but that works perfect. 112 agility, 1500 attack. All in all, looking super solid right here. 450 dexterity, 400 luck. Okay, so now we have our team, right? So I'm just going to put this in as build, right? Or guide. Let's go in with guide. Now I'm going to copy this formation. We're going to take it over to duel, and then we're going to go test it out. So this is half the process of making a team. If you build your team and you think that that's all you need to do for it to be strong, I hate to break it to you, but this is the halfway point, right? But at least this is the fun part that we're getting to right now. So I'm going to go in here, and we're going to find a team to take out. So I'll just take out this fire evasion team right here. Okay, so now we are going to go into duel, and we're going to see what tweaks we need to do. So right off the bat, let's see here. Thancred is going to be over in the corner. He's going to be close to Addison. So I think that Addison's staying. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Addison where Thancred is, just based on my knowledge of this map so far, right? I'm bring in Thancred, and we're going to put him down there. And he's going to be using his Dragoon buff and then his Revitalize and following Sephiroth. And then, let's see here actually. How can we do this? I might actually be able to, I don't think I can get the courage off on both of them, but we'll definitely get the courage off on Sephiroth. And we definitely want both of Thancred's buffs to go off, which is why I need him in the right slot. He might only get one buff off if I put him in Addison's slot. Okay, so I've already done my duels for today. So normally when I go in and I start testing, I look for a team that is not necessarily super strong, right? I want something where, you know, the team is not yet tweaked. I want to like be hyped on it. And so I'm trying to find something where it'll be somewhat of a challenge, but not a terribly hard challenge at the same time, because this team is not necessarily ready for like a showdown. But we're just going to have to see how it goes. As you guys can see, there are a lot of really strong teams, a lot of Dialdos floating around right now. So we're just going to have to do our best. All right, so why don't we go for this team? This is a Dia team. She's an MR unit, so it has 2 URs and an MR. All right, and let's just see how this goes, and we'll get into it. So we're going to test Thancred out and see if he can handle. I mean, obviously the idea would be to get the courage off on Thancred, but he's still Thancred at the end of the day. It's asking a lot, I think, to make him work. But I think that we're still going to get something out of him. So let's see how this goes. There's the courage on Sephiroth. Sephiroth is going to get the haste right there. So he didn't use Veil of Woe, but I think that because he got the haste off, he's going to get the Veil of Woe before the enemy gets too close. Hopefully, if this goes all right. He does have a lot of moves, so perfect. All right, so Thancred is, Sephiroth is off and ready to go. Addison is going to get the second courage right there, and Thancred is going to get the protect, the critical hit rate, and the reaction block rate up. So we're completely set up on this regard. Sephiroth is going to move in for Celis right here. Dia is coming out. She's going to go for a hit on Thancred. She is magic, it looks like, so he did take some more damage. Celis is going to block Addison's hit right there. Sephiroth is going to go for a second hit. Here comes Thancred. Not bad hit right here. Ooh, big hit from Astrius, and Thancred is going to go down. As you can see, it looks like he really does need that courage from Addison. So maybe we can try a different way to get off courage potentially on both of them. This is looking really tough right here. Celis just completely shut down Addison, which is rough. Boom, Sephiroth takes down Dia. Here comes Astrius. Ooh, there's that courage on Sephiroth looking good. Ooh, Astrius looking actually pretty tanky right here. Wow, he is actually surviving. I honestly wasn't expecting that. And they are going to take us down. Okay, so judging from what I'm seeing here, like, it's going to be really tough to make Thancred work unless we get off that courage on him. And since today is about Thancred and Addison, I would say as a support, I'm going to bring in Thancred into the middle right here. And I am going to turn on Masamune and Waiting on Sephiroth. Okay. And that is going to make it so that Thancred gets the courage, and then hopefully Sephiroth gets the second courage. But we're just going to have to see how that goes. All right. So we're going to change that. And let's see here. What have we got? Bunch of 140s. Okay, here's an interesting team. Dialdo 115, Moraga 140, Brad 140. Okay, so I'm going to go into this fight right here, and hopefully, if we made the right changes, we should be able to see somewhat of a improvement in Thancred for getting him off to work right here. Alright, so we're heading into the second fight. We are going to get that courage off on Thancred, and he's going to have that heal at low HP. We are going to get Scintilla off on Sephiroth. Thancred's going to run forward with Revitalize. Here comes Brad. Moraga's going to run out, 13.2 KHP, and we have a Dialdo back there, 11 KHP. He's only level 115 though. Alright, Addison's running out, so she did not hit Sephiroth with the second courage. That has been my trouble on this map, is getting her to use it on the second person. I feel like maybe it's not going to work. Okay, so Thancred got stunned. He's not really having his day right now. Alright, so here comes Addison. She's going to go for the heal on Thancred. He is stunned, so he is about to die. He did get the heal. It doesn't look like his courage has been procced yet. Alright, now his courage is procced, so he is going to get another hit. There goes Sephiroth, but unfortunately he doesn't have his barrier. Oh, Thancred, this is just not your day, bro. Alright, Bradley going for the hit. Dialdo is going to come in and go for the hit on Addison, which left Sephiroth open to take them down. Okay, and here we have Addison taking down Dialdo. Alright, so as you guys can see, the team worked a little bit better that time. Thancred didn't really have his moment to shine at all. I think that even with Addison's like amazing support abilities and her buffs, it's just really hard to get him to work. I don't know if I want to just go pure tanky on him. Let's see here. I don't think it's really going to make too much of a difference unless I literally just go full board on the tanky side of him. So lower his agility even more. But then I feel like what's the point? He's just surviving a little bit longer. And even still, magic is going to eat him alive. But he's really resistant to slash, really resistant to strike, and decently resistant to missile with a really high defense stat. So let's switch him over to that. And let's see here. What do we want to do? Maybe I will try switching Sephiroth and Addison just to see what that looks like on the initial buffing phase. Might be able to get off that second courage on Sephiroth if he can somehow span the gap between him and Thancred at the beginning. I feel like it's one move over 4 for Sephiroth to reach him, but you never know. He might be able to span it. And, oh yeah, it looks like Sephiroth will actually make it. Alright, so this might actually work. Okay, for some reason he did not run over. I thought that he would be able to make it to Thancred. That was not the case. So it's not going to work on this map to get off the courage on both of them from what it looks like. Alright, so we're going to have Addison trailing Thancred right here. Sephiroth is going to go one-on-one against Bradley, and Thancred's going to run forward. He's going to pair up with Dialdo. Not really a great pair for him considering that he is magic. Alright, he is going to get the courage and the heal. Addison's going to run out, go for the jamming thrust. Sephiroth is going to remove the courage on Bradley and go for the hit on Dialdo. Boom! Thancred looking a little better right there. MONASTERY is going to go for the hit on him. He's going to go down, but he definitely had more of a moment right there. Okay, Sephiroth's going to get off his second buff. The problem is that with this setup, Sephiroth didn't get off haste, and he didn't get off his barrier. And then at the same time, we're still fighting weakened teams, right? So like that's not even a 140 Dialdo. Alright, but we are doing better. So the team is starting to adapt and grow. Now the question is, what can be tweaked to this team in order to make it to the point where it can actually compete against other strong teams? Since we're using Thancred, that is the question of the night. And, you know, I think that probably for this team, the best thing to do would just be to fully rely on Sephiroth staying alive. But I feel like that kind of takes out a little bit of the fun of it. So I didn't really mind that start. But if Sephiroth is going to start off without running in for a buff, then you might as well turn off his AoE buff. You might as well just run him haste straight into Veil. So we'll see how this goes. We're going to switch him up and we're going to see if we have a little bit better of a time right here. Okay, so here's a 140 Dialdo, a 140 Bradley, and a 140 MONASTERY. So that would be pretty rad if we actually were able to take down this team right now with this team. So I think that that would be a job well done. But as you guys can see, the idea of this video isn't to make a team that can take down one of the most meta teams in the game, but just to kind of use this team as a guide to show you guys how I put together teams. So I think actually just noting Sephiroth right there, if I have him over there in the corner and I'm wanting him to get off 2 buffs, I'm going to have to take off Lone Hero because he's getting out way too fast. He's not getting off Veil of Woe. So we're going to try that in our next battle. We're going to see how it goes. Here comes Dialdo. He's going to get the spirit down. Thancred running over, going for the pierce attack. Interesting. Oh, but he missed the Kira. Oh, poor Thancred. Alright, so he is going to get the horizontal jump. It's not doing too much. Thancred is going to get procced onto Courage. He's going to get the heal. Addison's going to go for Bradley, but now Sephiroth is out of AP, which is unfortunate, and that is just something that cannot happen. Alright, so here comes Dialdo. He's going to be going after Thancred. And it is looking brutal for us right here. We're going to remove the Courage from Bradley, but I think that we're not going to be able to take this at all. Alright, so that one there is down. I think that, did Addison even get off her Courage right there? I'm not sure. So, let's try, we got one more fight. So, what I'm going to do is I am going to put Thancred. Do I want him to get... I feel like there might be a way. No, there's no way. You would have to have Thancred and Sephiroth be faster than Addison if you put her in the middle, meet her in the middle, and then she would get off both Courages. But that's just never going to happen. Thancred is not going to surpass her in speed. I would have to drop all of her agility stones, and Bahamut. And I feel like at that point, it's probably just not even worth it. So let's see here. We have one battle left. I'm going to try and beat that Dialdo, MONASTERY, or maybe we can find one that's like Dialdo, Bradley, and then Zazan or something. So that way it's not a two magic users, since Thancred is pretty weak to magic. So let's figure this out. For Sephiroth, I'm going to take him off Lone Hero. We're going to put him back on Self-Sacrifice. I want him to get off both of those buffs. I don't mind if he loses his agility a little bit. At the same time, do I want Sephiroth to get the Courage? That's the question. Oh, it's so freaking tricky. Let's see here. Need Addison to get off her own Courage. I'm going to put Sephiroth down here. Okay. Let's try this and see how it goes. We're going to avoid the Courage on Thancred and put our hope into Sephiroth and see if we can make this team work. Let's go find the right opponent. Is Rurugia magic? No, he's physical. Alright, so let's go right here. Do we have 3 140s? Let's go for it. I don't know if we'll do 5 more battles or not. I guess it'll depend on this one, because I am a tenacious person and I like to see if I can make something work. So we're just going to have to see how it goes. But I think this might be able to do it. We're just going to have to see. Okay, so here comes Addison. She's going to run in. Actually, I have an idea. Maybe switching Sephiroth to Winged Sterne might actually work better. Okay, so putting Sephiroth in the middle means he's no matter what not going to get off both of his buffs because he's too close to the enemy player. Ooh, and Bradley versus Addison is not a good matchup. Okay, here comes Dialdo. Now we have Thancred coming in. He is going to go for the jump. Problem is his damage. Alright, there's the Octaslash. Bradley's on, knocked Addison into her Courage. Alright, she goes for the hit on Bradley, which does not proc the slow, surprisingly. And Sephiroth is out of AP. Okay, that's unfortunate. So I'm going to skip out of this fight. Sephiroth cannot run out of AP. It's just not. It's never going to work. Alright, so what this leads me to believe is that this team is struggling. And I think that perhaps changing in Winged Sterne for Sephiroth might make the difference, because we'll get more cards that stack. So let's see how this goes. We're going to put Dark Bahamut on Sterne. Then I'm going to switch Thancred's card to his main slot. Okay. Then with Addison, I can switch her to her card. For Thancred, I can run down and put on this card right here, Scions of House Beowulf. For Sterne, I'm going to go down and put on the Rob Horn card. Alright, now we're looking at something interesting right here. So let's go down, I'll put on the Blood Sword. Oh, whoops. Put the Blood Sword on Sterne. In his main slot right here, let's see what we want to put on him. I'm going to go for Brigandine. Okay, and he's got the Haste TMR. Alright, so now what's interesting about this is that Sterne has re-raise, so he doesn't necessarily need to get off that Courage from Thancred. Let's see here. Now, I can put Thancred in the middle. Have Sterne run in, use Pinion of Steel, get the AoE resistance up on Thancred, make them both tankier. Then he's going to get off Reawakening, and Thancred will get off Courage, and Addison should get off Courage. So let's try this. We're going to do 5 more fights for the day. I know it's kind of a long video, but if you guys are still here, I'm sure that you're interested as I am. Okay, so I'm just going to test this out on this team right here. They have random 134, 131s because I'm guessing they're in the middle of reincarnations. So I just want to test it out to see how the team runs. I'm not really too worried about how strong this team is or fighting a strong team just yet. I want to figure out how the team is functioning and figure out a way to make it work. So this is, like I was saying, the other half of making a good team after you like kind of sit them down, choose their formations, choose their equipments, choose their espers, choose their VCs. All right, so let's see how this goes. We're going to also have Addison against Bradley again. Not the greatest pair, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, 2 magic users, but they are lower. I mean, they're in their 130s. Who knows how many reincarnations they've had. Bradley's at 11k. I'm sure he's decent. Alright, and Sterne's going to get the re-raise. Now, Macherie is going to come in. Oh, she gets off her haste. Interesting. Dialdo in the back. Alright. Let's do this. Thancred's going for Dialdo right here. Bradley's going to get off his barrier. Oof. Early haste. She did get off her re-raise, but since she just attacked, that CT up is not going to do anything. But Sterne is going to get pulled away from Dialdo, unfortunately. Brad is going to come out. He's going to go for the hit on Sterne. And Dialdo is going to remove the re-raise. I forgot that he can do that. Alright, Thancred's going to go for a hit right there. Macherie's going to run in. Oh, this is a tough team to beat, not going to lie. Thancred's going to get that Courage. Addison coming in from the top. Almost able to take down Dialdo, but not quite. Thancred holding up, though. Let's be real. Dang, alright, Dialdo's going to go down. What is Bradley going to do? He's going to take down Thancred. Macherie is going to get off 1 hit right here. She's going to go for the hit on Addison. The Courage is going to get procced. Here comes Addison. She's going to take down Macherie. Very close, actually. Oh, it looks like we're just barely going to lose. Okay, so not bad. Definitely a huge improvement against these teams. So, but I think that the Dialdo was only like, what, 115? But still, definitely making some ground. Okay, so let's see here. What else do we have? Now, is there a way to make this even better? That's the question. Do I want to put Sterne? I mean, that Pinion of Steel buff on Thancred was pretty good, I feel like. Okay, so why don't we try against this ice team? I'm just going to leave it where it is, and I'm just going to test this comp out against a few other different teams and just overall see how it does. I'm not really expecting it to be taking down anything super meta, but I mean, that last battle was decently close. We're definitely getting something out of Thancred, which is pretty nice. Alright, here comes Thancred, he's going to run forward. Alright, there's Addison. And we're going to get off the re-raise. I'm curious how this is going to go. Gilgamesh is OG, just as OG as Thancred. I mean, actually, he's the real OG 100 cost, right? Gilgamesh came out like was on launch. I remember my buddy dreamt re-rolling for him, and then realizing that his shards were twice the cost, so re-rolling for him was kind of shitty actually at the beginning of the game. You got him, you're like, yeah! And then it was like, oh, fuck, how am I going to build this guy? Alright, so not bad. Here comes last wall. Big hit on Thancred, actually. Alright, Thancred is going to go down. But now we have Addison. She's going to get off a big jamming thrust. And Sterne coming in. He's going to break through the Mirage. Lastwell is out of AP. Alright, we're going to take down Lastwell. So not bad. Breaking down into the rank 380s. So decently high. And, like, let's be real. If I took out Thancred and put in Warrior of Light, like, this is a very powerful team. I was thinking about doing a showcase video for Addison, Winged Sterne, and Warrior of Light, but I feel like Ready Player Will did a pretty good job of it. I mean, he like 140'd her on the first day. I didn't really want to put too much resources into Addison. I'm not like the biggest fan of TikTok collaborations, although I do think that she is a fantastic character. It's just, I'm not gonna lie, like if a character's kit is not enough for me. I want like more of like the childhood hype, you know? So like the TikTok collab is just not that big of an interest for me. So I basically slow built her. But yeah, if you slot in Warrior of Light for Thancred, it is a very, very, very strong team. Like my Warrior of Light is healing back for like 15k. I've almost been able to break 19k HP with him. I think I'm just going to keep reincarnating Warrior of Light just because I want to hit 20k HP, and I've never seen a tank in the game hit that, and I'm pretty sure that I could. But yeah, if you guys are interested in seeing that team, the Addison, Winged Sterne, Warrior of Light, just like my own little take on it, I'm happy to do that. Just let me know in the comments below. But for this video, we got 3 battles left, so let's see how it goes. Alright. No more less than full level teams. Roy Modol. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Okay, so here's Zazan, Bradley, and Dialdo. So I'm going to actually go for this. I think this is going to be the last Earth team we fight of the day. So hopefully we can take it down. Zazan is physical, so we're going to have a little bit more of an edge against him over MONASTERY. However, I am a little worried about Thancred actually being able to hit him, which might be like, you know, kind of counterproductive. But we'll see how it goes. Alright, Brad at 10.9k HP, Zazan's over there, he's going to use Courage. The fact that Zazan did not use Fake Death is interesting to me, because to me that's like far better than his Courage ability. This Dialdo is way tankier than the last few ones we looked at. Alright, here comes Zazan, going for the hit on Addison. Thancred is going to run out. He is going to get the Protect. Alright. Ooh, Zazan going to proc that haste. Alright, Thancred looking pretty good. Here comes Winged Sterne. Bradley's going to get the CT up. Zazan is out of AP. Here comes Dialdo. Thancred on Courage getting the heal back. Let's go. Come on, Thancred. Oh, he missed Bradley. Oh, and the re-raise remove on Sterne. That's some fucked up shit. Alright, so we are going to get the slow on Dialdo. Bradley is going to go down. Dialdo is going to go down. Zazan is almost out of AP. Come on, let's go. Zazan is on Courage. He's going to proc the haste. He's out of AP. And I think we are going to... Well, let's see here. Okay, so Addison goes for the heal. Ooh, he's going to put her on Courage, and she's going to take him down. All right, so you guys just saw it. Thancred took down a full team of 140s. Zazan, Dialdo, and King Bradley. So you can make it work. It just takes tweaking. That's what I'm saying. So, like, you know, we tried with Sephiroth. I think part of the trick is not getting stuck on trying to make something work. If it's clear in the first 5 battles that, you know, you've done like you know, there's always more you can do to make it better, but if you've done 85 to 90% of it and it's still having trouble, you got to make a bigger change. You got to go back to the drawing board. So this team right here just overall works better, as you guys could see. I'm not going to go for an evasion team. We just fought Earth. This is evasion, like I just said. So many freaking Earth teams. All right, so here's a Dia team, Elsaral and Peren. So let's go for this. All right, I'm pretty excited. I wasn't actually sure if I was going to be able to take down a full team of 140s with Thancred, but actually he out-survived Winged Sterne and took it down to the very end. And honestly, Bradley got that lucky dodge too. It would have even been more of a win. All right, so we're going to take that courage right here. Winged Sterne's going to run in. I mean, I just feel like these cards really work well together. Thancred's card in the main slot, along with Dark Bahamut in the main slot, benefit him and Sterne and Addison. I mean, the Thancred card doesn't benefit her as much, but they definitely slot really well together. All right, so we'll see. We got beat by a water team with Dia in it at the beginning, so I'm not sure how we're going to do, but I think that we are going to do better. All right. Nice. Thancred is actually holding up. His defense is not bad at all. All right, here comes Winged Sterne going for Peren. She's going to proc that heal. Dia's from behind. She's going to take down Thancred. He's going to get that heal. Boom, I'm liking that blasting zone. Not bad at all. All right, here comes Addison. She's going to take down Dia. She's going to get the re-raise, but I don't think she has the CT up. All right, perfect. Peren is going to go down. Dia's going to get one more hit. All right, she is going to take down Thancred, but a huge improvement from the last time we fought a water team. Huge improvement. Also, we fought Celis the first time, who basically shut down Addison. I think that if you're going to fight Celis, like, she has to be on the opposite end of the map. She can't get paired up with Addison right at the beginning. All right, so we got one team left, but overall, I am very happy with how this build guide came out. I really hope that this helps you guys build your teams, have more fun with the game. I know that the game goes through lulls. I feel like it's kind of in one right now, at least for me, especially with Final Fantasy 16 out. I have been very, very much enjoying the game. I know that it has, you know, gotten some negative criticism, but I really like the story. I've been a professional storyteller for 13 years, going on 14. You know, everything, you can always do things to make things better. But at the same time, it's so rare that we get like a Final Fantasy main title game that I feel like better to be more grateful for it than like more resentful for how things change, in my opinion. And I think that the combat system is very fun. I love that you can flow back and forth between ultimates, basically just like using these ultimate abilities back and forth, and I'm just having a blast. So that's one of the reasons I haven't been making videos. I am going to be making pull videos for Raph and when she comes out, and like PvP showcases as well, so you guys can look forward to that. But in the meantime, I'm just kind of taking it easy. All right, well, we got one battle left. What are we going to fight? Here is JB79. I'm guessing that this is going to be a pretty powerful ice team, but I'm going to try and take them out with Thancred right now, which would be pretty fun. So this will be the last battle of the day. I hope it's a good fight, and I hope that this guide video has helped kind of show you guys some insight into how to build teams and maybe help you in the future with building your own. So if you guys have any questions, you can always hit me up in the comments below. I do my best to answer each and every comment, so I'm always happy to help if I have the extra time, and at some point I normally do. So cheers. Let's see how this battle plays out right here. Okay, so here comes Thancred. Oh, I forgot Howlet is magic. He's going to eat through Thancred. Alright, Addison's going to get off her barrier right here. Sterne is going to get off the re-raise. And we have Velis in the far back corner. Alright, there's the blasting zone. Ooh, nice clutch heal from Addison right there. Oh, this Howlet. Powerful. Oh, almost took him down. Not quite. Thancred is gonna... I don't think that he got the courage right there. Come on, Thancred. Let's go, dude. Dude, I like that blasting zone. defense down on everyone. That's really supportive for wing Sterne. All right, Addison is going to go down. It's going to be relying on Sterne and Thancred right here. And getting past Velas's healing capacity is going to be a pain in the ass, let's be real. Boom, but that freaking blasting zone, holy cow. All right, Sterne, everything is on you right here. He's going to take down Velas. It's a one-on-one, Reagan and Sterne. Okay, he did get the CT up. Sterne is going to get the next hit. And there you guys have it. JB79 is a pretty popular YouTuber. I believe he does like a series with Ready Player Will, I think, called like the Leonis Report. But yeah, as you guys saw, we were able to take him down with Thancred right there, so I'm pretty stoked about that. But yeah, overall, really good fight. Just to give kind of a head nod to JB79, his Howlet, I believe, was not at 140, it was at 120, which I think makes it a little bit more fair anyway, since Thancred is stuck at 120 and he has like a archaic kit. Let's be real. So yeah, that is an overall video for how I build these teams, how I put things together. I really hope that this video helped you guys. I know it was a little long. I wasn't really too worried about making it short or anything. It just sounded fun. I wanted to make this video. A lot of people have been asking for it. So I hope you guys enjoy it. That being said, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care and peace.